Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. And heavyweight news in brief it is today. It's been announced American heavyweight Jarell Big Baby Miller will face Frenchman Johan Dorper on April 28th on the Danny Jacobs undercard in Brooklyn, in what will be a WBA eliminator according to the promotional poster for the event. The 29-year-old Miller, who is 20-0 with one draw, is coming off wins over Marius Waco and Gerald Washington in 2017, and is currently ranked at number 3 in the WBA, WBO and IBF respectively. The 37-year-old Dorper, he comes off 3 lower tier bouts in 2017, after getting starched by Alexander Povetkin on 1 day's notice in late 2016. His record currently sits at 37-4, and he's ranked in the WBC, WBA and IBF respectively. I'll get to the news release quotes and then a few thoughts. So Jarell Miller first. He says, "Nothing makes me more gratified and blessed to do what I love, and that's to get back in the ring and continue to solidify my place as the next heavyweight champion of the world. This fight on April 28 is just the next step to be recognised as the best in the world and a training ground for Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Thank you HBO, Eddie Hearn and Dimitri Salita for this amazing opportunity. Big Baby Miller and Big Baby Promotions is here." The Frenchman, meanwhile, he says a top heavyweight does not have to be heavy or light, fat or slim. A heavyweight just needs to be strong. I will show on April 28th that I am strong enough to beat Jarell Miller. Okay, so those were the thoughts of both Jarell Miller and Johan Dorper respectively in the official press release. Okay, my thoughts. So where to start on this one? I think it's fair to say Jarell Miller, red hot favourite for this one. I think it'll be pretty short betting odds. Dorper, for me, he's on the slide. And this rather shapes as more of a heat check for Miller, basically to see where he's at. Or maybe better put, how impressive he looks in this fight could basically dictate how short his path to a world title is. Miller has actually previously stated on the record that Eddie Hearn has told him that after his next fight, which is now confirmed as being against Dorper, that he would be in line for a title shot after that.
What did he say?
So basically get past Dorper and he's got a title shot.
Huh?
Whether that's actually credible or not, time will tell. But in the news release, Hearn says the winner will progress to a shot at the heavyweight world title. But actually, when you look at the promotional poster, it says it's an eliminator for the WBA. But the when may be the better question, because, an eliminator could lead to another eliminator. Who knows? So when is the better question, because the caveat is in that poster which says it's an eliminator. Right now, Alexander Povetkin is the WBA mandatory, and that's likely to be called soon given the length of time since the last mandatory challenger was ordered. So Miller, with a dominant performance, he could be in line to be the next cab off the rank. But time will tell on that front. And also don't discount that Miller potentially getting a title shot through the IBF, as at the moment he's number 3, the number 1 slot isn't rated, and there's no guarantee that number 2, Kubrat Pulev, gets the mandatory slot again. So there's a lot of variables at play here. So potentially Eddie Hearn could deliver on his promise to Jarell Miller, but at the moment you would sort of bet against him getting a title shot next. But it's boxing. Funny things can and do happen. Money talks and bullshit walks. So all on the line for Jarell Miller come April 28th. Meanwhile, a second heavyweight fight is also on that same card, with 20-3 Artis Pilger taking on an undefeated Uzbekistan fighter called Jehan, who is 11-0. While the news release lists him as a knockout artist, if you go to BoxRec, the record definitely looks thin, definitely looks padded. But pitting Pilger against Ergashev, it actually serves a dual purpose for Eddie Hearn. It shapes as a decent comeback fight after 2 losses on the bounce to Deontay Wilder and more latterly Adam Kanelski. So it'll give the pole back some confidence. He can defeat an undefeated opponent who has the veneer of respectability because of his unbeaten 11-0 record, when really it's dross. It will also no doubt draw some interest from the local Polish community, which does get behind their boxers in the New York area. And Pilger, he most recently lost to Kaniowski. He'll want to get rolling again, restore some momentum in his career because the air has completely gone out of the balloon. So a loss, I would basically say, if he got a third in a row, it would surely relegate the Pole to journeyman level status. But I'm sure this fight has actually been handpicked for Pilger to do well in front of a home crowd. And I'm sure we could actually see Pilger on future cards if he does well in this fight. And when I say future cards, I mean of Eddie Hearn's when he's in the New York area. 13-0 prospect Junior Farr is set to come into his upcoming bout with Joey de Waco on March 9th in the United States in the best shape of his career. A year ago, Farr's fighting weight for his clash with fellow New Zealander Daniel Tai for the New Zealand heavyweight title was 277 pounds. In late 2017, it was 262 for his bout against Fred Latham. And the 28-year-old, he's carved off another 11 pounds in training ahead of the de Waco fight, currently weighing in at 251 pounds. So given it's 3 weeks out from fight night right now, Farr could weigh in somewhere between 245 and 250, and that shapes as a 6'5", 6'6" guy, shapes as a good weight for him, and no doubt being leaner will contribute to an improvement in speed and general movement. I do like this fight actually for Farr, and de Waco, he's a very tough guy. He's got a good jaw. It will give us more of a glimpse of who Junior Farr is and who he could be at the top level. I would also note that Farr's most recent opponent, Fred Latham, who was taken apart in a round back late last year, he's back in action this weekend in Rhode Island against the 13-1 Joe Kusumanu. Another in action this coming weekend is the highly touted prospect Daniel Dubois, who's currently 6-0. He will face unbeaten DL Jones, who sports an 8-0 with one draw record. Also on that card at the York Hall is the 11-0 Nathan Gorman, but as yet an opponent has not been named. And rounding out this bulletin, an all-Swedish heavyweight clash between Otto Wollen and Adrian Grenier that has been years in the making has been confirmed for April 21st in Sundsvall, Sweden. The dislike between the two domestic rivals is evident, with 15-1 Grenier telling BoxingScene.com, "I don't like him. Boxing is supposed to be entertainment, but he's not entertaining. He's not got an entertaining boxing style or personality. I think he's dull all the way through, and I'm 100% confident I will win this fight. He's got a weak mind and no punch, so it's going to be difficult for him. He's fought lower level journeymen his whole career, so it's going to be a big step up for him to face me, and I think he's going to notice the difference."
All units, shots fired. One shot confirmed by the complainant.
In response, the 19-0 Wollen says, "I've been waiting a long time for this fight, and finally we will see who is the best heavyweight in Sweden. I'm very confident I will win. I'm very confident in my ability and in my work rate. I know when I enter the ring I would have prepared to the best of my ability and done everything possible to win. Grenier, he's a big guy with some strength, but I believe I'm the better boxer. I've known him for many years since we were amateurs, and I know what to expect. I don't think he's improved, and I don't think he understands what it takes to become something in this game. He's always tried to do things the easy way. He's disrespected me, and he's disrespected his other opponents. I want to show him that's not the way to behave. This is a gentleman's sport, and I plan to teach him a lesson." What do you make of it all? So a little bit of niggle there. And in terms of the rest of it, Jarell Miller, do you like this fight for him? Johan Dorper. Drop a comment loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.